Hey y'all, what's good beautiful people? It's your girl Tay and I'm here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video you will be notified. So I gotta tell you guys, my son is literally right here next to me. He is sleeping, but he's doing that little toss and turn, trying to decide if he wants to actually get out of the bed. More than likely he will wake up, so if you hear that noise, it's him. And my other children are still asleep, which is why I'm trying to do this right now, but you may see them walking around in the background. So without further ado, I actually got a pretty good response from you guys yesterday in the comment section. You left a lot of good questions that I do want to try to get to sometime at the, in this video. So you're going to have to stay tuned, watch the video all the way to the end just to make sure that, just to see if your question has been answered. Other than that, one of the questions that I did get was about clothing vouchers. Someone asked me specifically about clothing vouchers. Now, for California, I'm not exactly sure if it's this protocol for every school district, but I will advise you to check with your school district, or either your child's actual school. I know for me, for my daughter, her school, you have to actually check with the school itself, and then they will put her name on a list that she wanted to participate in that program, or that I wanted to participate in the program to get clothes, school clothes for her. And what they ended up doing is they will call us and say, okay, you have to be at this place at a certain date at a certain time. And it was usually just Target. So we would go to Target, and they would let us shop to the limit or whatever, which wasn't really that much, but I do appreciate it. It was about $70 or something like that. They would let you shop until you accumulated $70 worth of clothes, but they were like all these different criteria, like if your child's school wore uniforms, which her school did wear uniforms, but they were lenient in terms of she didn't have to wear those traditional blue or beige khaki pants. She could wear some blue jeans. She could wear a shirt that was blue, you know, but it didn't have to be a polo shirt. So I would advise you just to check with your school first and then see what they have to say. And then if they don't give you any answers, then you want to check with your school district. Now be mindful that we are in a summertime phase, so a lot of school districts and even schools may not actually be open, so you may have to wait until the beginning of the school year. Okay, however, there was some information that I was able to find for 3 different states, and I'm going to give you that right now. So starting off, we have West Virginia, okay? It says West Virginia school clothing allowance applications open on the 1st of July. And according to this source, it's going to be open all the way until the 31st of July. So you have up until the end of the month. It says the West Virginia Department of Human and Health Resources, the DHHR Bureau for Families and Children, will begin accepting school clothing allowance applications on the 1st of July for eligible children enrolled in West Virginia school. Each eligible child will receive $200 benefit that may be used towards the purchase of appropriate school clothing or piece goods for families who sew clothing for their children, okay? And then there's a eligibility criteria. It says the following will automatically receive school clothing allowance benefits for each school-age child in the home by the end of June, okay? Families with school-age children who currently receive West Virginia Works or cash assistance, parents or guardians of children in foster care, children ages 4 through 18 who receive Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, other known as SNAP, are enrolled in school and whose household level income level is under 130% of the federal poverty line. Let me see here. Families who receive school clothing allowance in 2020 and currently have Medicaid coverage should receive a school clothing allowance program application by mail in late June. So you guys should have received an application sometime last month. However, they do leave a website so that you can go online and apply, as well as a phone number so that you can contact them if you need any assistance, okay? It does kind of go over the income limits. I'm not sure if you guys want me to do that, but just know that the income limits are between $1,383 for a household of 1 to $5,752 for a household of 10. So if you fall somewhere within that range, depending on your household size, you should be okay, okay? Now, the website is www.wvpath.org, okay? So www.wv, as in West Virginia, path, PATH.org, okay? And then you can request a paper application be mailed to you by contacting your local DHHR office as well, or by calling 1-877-716-1212. Again, that's 1-877-716-1212, and this is for West Virginia, okay? Now, let's go to the next one. This one is for Massachusetts. Now, this is coming from the TAFDC. Yeah, TAFDC. And this is a September clothing allowance. It says the Department of Transitional Assistance, the DTA, pays a $350 clothing allowance for children. I need to move states because, heck, West Virginia giving $200 a child. Y'all giving the Massachusetts, it looked like y'all are giving $350 a child. In California, y'all heard what I said, it was $70, but you know, it is what it is. Anyways, $350 clothing allowance for children in late August or September. Families get $350 for each child in the family who gets transitional assistance for families and dependent children. So if you are a recipient, if your child is a recipient of TAFDC, then they automatically qualify for this benefit and will receive $350 in late August and September. Okay. Only children who get the TAFDC get the September allowance. Children who get SSI cannot get the clothing allowance. If your child cannot get the TAFDC, he or she cannot get the clothing allowance, okay? There was a question here where someone asked if they were a teen, well, you know, a basic how do you call that, Q&A, a FAQ where someone asked if they were a teen parent, can they get the clothing allowance for themselves? It says if you are a teen parent, okay, if your family gets TAFDC because you are a dependent child under the age of 18, then you will get the $350 clothing allowance. You can also get the $350 clothing allowance for each child you have as long as they get the TAFDC, okay? How do you get the allowance? It says if you get the blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do anything to get the allowance. In late August or September, DTA will pay your family $350 for each child in the family who is less than 19 years old and gets TAFDC. So I'm assuming it's going to go to your whatever card or wherever you receive your benefits. But let me read a little bit further. For every child who already gets TAFDC, DTA will make the $350 payment available on August the 30th. Okay, so August the 30th. DTA will deposit $350 in the family's EBT account or bank account. So depending on which payment method you're using, like I said, to get your benefits from the TAFDC, that's how you will get your $350 payment. So it'll either be on your EBT card or it'll be in your bank account if you put your banking account information. DTA will send a notice to households telling them about the payments. So you'll get some information. Families who apply before the end of September and are approved will get the full clothing allowance benefit in the fall, okay? Now let's go down and see if there's some information about where you can apply. Okay, there is contact information here for two different people, but here it's got a link. They want you to apply for TFDC. So I want you guys to just be aware that you cannot get these benefits unless you apply for TAFDC. And I'm trying to see if there's a link where you can go. But I think if you put it in, for those of you in Massachusetts, if you put in these actual, the acronym TAFDC application, you should get some information on how to apply. Here it is right here. I have some. Okay, so it says, how do you apply? They want you to go to your local Department of Transitional Assistance office. You can apply the first day you go to the DTA. If you have trouble with English, DTA should give you an interpreter, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, just look up more information. I'm going to try to put as much of this in the description box as I possibly can, just to steer you guys in the right direction. I might put the link to this article that I'm actually reading. But the bottom line is that for the clothing allowance, you have to be receiving TAFDC benefits for your children. So you would need to start there first and apply for that. If you get approved, I think before September, it says, then more than likely you would get the full benefit, the full $350, okay? Payments won't be going out until it said, what, August 30th, I think? Yeah, August 30th. All right. So let me come out of that one. And then I had one more that I looked up. This one is for I think this one is for Ohio. I'm trying to skip all. Yeah, Ohio. Okay. So, in Ohio County, this is a county that is distributing $200 to low-income families to pay for clothing for their children. Parents who get food stamp assistance are being encouraged to apply for payments of up to $200 to cover the purchase of school clothing for each of their school-age children. Okay, the STARK, S-T-A-R-K, County Department of Job and Family Services is calling the program the... I'm sorry, y'all, I'm tired. But I can't say the name of it, but they're calling it the blank Back to School Prevention, Retention, and Contingency, or PRC program for short, okay? It's a state grant program authorized by and funded through the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families through the American Rescue Plan, blah, 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 blah. The $200 payments are a one-time grant for pandemic relief intended for this year only. The application deadline is July 23rd. Only parents with custody of the children who live in Stark County and are receiving assistance from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, also known as food stamps, or EBT, are eligible, okay? They have to provide documentation demonstrating their children are enrolled in the Stark County School District for the 2021 to 2022 school year. Proof can include a letter of enrollment, documentation of kindergarten registration, or a final report card from the most recent school year, okay? Children who are homeschooled or attending an online school are ineligible for the assistance, so they have to be going to school in person to receive this. The Ohio Department of Job and Family Services is providing nearly $34 million to Ohio counties. Okay, so let's go down a little bit further. It says the county will disperse the money to low-income families as their applications are approved until the funds are exhausted. So if you guys haven't already applied, they want you to go online to the Stark County Job and Family Services website. You could just put that into your search engine and it should pull up some options for you, or call the county agency at 330-451-8400. Again, go to Stark County Job and Family Services website, or call the county agency at 330-451-8400. And again, I'm going to try to put as much information down below as I can, okay? So that is for Ohio. Successful applications will get instructions on how to pick up their payment the week of August 9th. According to state guidance, the money must be dispersed by September 30th. So somewhere between August and September, you guys will get some instructions. The state was permitted, blah, 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 blah. There is some contact information for a person, but I'll just leave all of that in the description box down below, okay? So that is it for clothing. I did have some more info. I did want to go over a little bit about what's going on with the child tax credits, as well as the second Golden State, or the extended Golden State stimulus, because it's not technically a second Golden State stimulus. So let me just clarify. It is an expansion of the one that they were previously distributing, or still distributing, okay? So on that note, and this is only for California, because I have a lot of you guys who are asking me about whether or not this is for everybody, or if this is just, there's only 5 states that so far that I have been aware of that have distributed money to their constituents in their state. But this one particularly is just for California. So I'm not going to go over all the details. Everybody should be aware in California of what the Golden State stimulus is. Just know that they have expanded the income cap from $30,000 to $75,000. So if you receive the first $600 Golden State stimulus, you will not receive another one. However, if you have dependents, then you are eligible to receive the additional $500 for dependents. And it's not $500 per dependent. It's only $500 per household if you have dependents. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 or if you have 3, it's just going to be $500. Now they are expected to start sending that out sometime in September, okay? No earlier than that, which, I mean, I know it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, you know, but you guys have to realize that these agencies that are actually distributing these benefits are still in the middle of tax year. They're still doing what they need to do regarding taxes, and they're not set up for these reoccurring or for these payments that keep coming out and need to be paid out. So they are trying to give them a little bit of time to finish with their normal workload before they can start on the next one. So as far as I know, and there's no date, we just know that it's going to be going out sometime in September of this year, okay, for the Golden State stimulus. So look for it sometime in September. All right, for those of you who are just recently became eligible for it, you won't get it anytime soon. It'll be in September. Now, in addition to that, we're going to be talking about the child tax credit. The child tax credit is a hot subject. Everybody should be, who qualifies, will have received their deposit tomorrow. Now, as far as I know, for the checks, if you are receiving a check because maybe you didn't update your information in time, the checks won't go out until Friday. And of course, they ask that you give it the normal amount of business days to receive it. I don't know what that is. Sometimes they say 2 to 4 weeks, but realistically, it shouldn't take no more than 3 days for it to come to you, as long as it's but again, there are, how do I say it? We can't account for what's going on with the post office. We know that they're behind. Realistically, you guys just want to give them, I want to say give them a month to a month and a half to get your check to you. But just know that if you did change your information, even though they may be mailing you a check this time, you should get it by direct deposit last time. Now, one more thing that I also wanted to let you guys know, because I communicated with someone who did actually update their information after the deadline, their banking information after the deadline, but they're seeing a pending deposit for tomorrow in their account. So there's a possibility that you may still be receiving a deposit. So you want to go online and check your account to see if the funds will be deposited tomorrow. If not, then you'll be getting a check, okay, most likely. And then next month, you'll start getting your deposits, all right? Now, this is the last time I'm going to say this to you guys. The payout date for the child tax credits is the 15th of every month up until December, except for in August. In August, we will be receiving it on the 13th. So August the 13th is the only exception, because I believe the 15th ends on a weekend. All right. Now, last but definitely not least, you guys, I want to go through these comments really quick. You guys have to bear with me. I know this video is going to be long, but I definitely want to go through your comments and answer as many as I possibly can. Feel free to leave more questions. I will answer these. I will make that a thing and answer you guys' question in every video if necessary, depending on the amount of questions that I get, how significant they are. But if not, again, I do answer them sometimes in the comment section. So let me just go through. Oh, someone's saying they got their $500 today in New Jersey. Y'all check your mailboxes. Let me scroll down. There were so many questions. Good morning. Good morning. New York EBT cash balance for families. I don't know what that means. Is anybody know the deposit date for Georgia? Okay, now the one thing I will say, when you guys leave these questions in the comment section, you have to be a little bit more specific. Are you asking for EBT? Are you asking for pandemic EBT? What exactly are you talking about? Just saying what deposit date for Georgia doesn't really give me a whole lot of to go off of, and then I kind of have to fill in the blanks, okay? But I am going to look up emergency SNAP benefits for Georgia to see if there is any. Okay, so for the month of July, Georgia should be getting their emergency allotments on July 27th, 29th, 30th, and the 31st, okay? It says, what about Mississippi PEBT? Let me see. I have to go to the internet on my phone. Mississippi pandemic EBT. Mississippi plan approval. All right. Mississippi tentatively issue benefits for the months of August 2020, 45 days after plan approval. Tentatively issue benefits for the rest of the school year on a weekly basis, with 1 month of benefits issued each week and all benefits issued by late September. That's all I have for pandemic EBT. It doesn't give a specific date. That's all the information that's on the United States Department of Agriculture, okay? All right, let me go back. Back. Lean to the side. Okay. All right, this is a pretty long question. It says, question, I reside in District of Columbia, DC. Will I still be able to get my emergency pandemic food stamps? I really, if July, okay, so pandemic food stamps are different than regular emergency food stamps. So let me see if DC is on here, which I believe they are. It says for DC, for emergency SNAP, you should get them with your regular issuance. So whenever your regular issuance is, that's when you should get the benefits for DC, okay? I don't know if you're referring to pandemic because you kind of got it all mushed in together. It's like emergency and pandemic. But for emergency maximum SNAP allotments for DC, it should be there with your regular issuance. I amended my taxes a few months ago after I got my refund, and it is saying pending in the tax credit portal. Do you think I have to wait till they finish my amended taxes, follow through until they qualify me as eligible for the child tax credit? I don't want to give you a for sure answer, but because I'm not sure myself, but I'm going to say yes. They could go off of your previous year's tax statements, tax refund or whatever, but because you've already submitted the documents and they're most likely going through them, it's going to take some time for them to go through the amended returns because they're still working on regular returns, and that's a little bit more complicated for them to go back in, on top of the fact that they're also going back and doing the unemployment refunds themselves for people who already paid. So I'm going to say that most likely they won't be able to send you payments until your taxes are complete. However, I am going to err on the side of caution that there's a possibility that you still may get these payments. So you just want to check the portal as often as necessary to see if those payments have processed, and as well try to get in contact with somebody at the IRS. I know it's difficult, but in my previous videos I did suggest that you guys try to call as late as you possibly can, close to when they're closing. I know that they're open from 7 a.m. I believe to 7 p.m. When I was calling, I always called like 6:30, okay, 6:45, 6:50, and I would get right through, okay, because in other states their time zone is different, and so the queue for callers was a lot lower, okay. So you want to call close to the time that they are about to close, okay, and try to see if you can get you some answers. Thank you for helps a lot, but okay, this person says, I'm confused. Is the $95 in CalFresh a different help from max allotment? Okay, so what happened was there were a lot of people that were not getting the emergency SNAP maximum allotment. So if you don't know what that is basically, let's say you have a household size of 1 and you're getting $200 in food stamps, but because you have income, whether it's coming from the same place that you're getting your EBT, food stamp benefits from, or let's say you have a job, so they're only giving you $100 in food stamps instead of the maximum amount, which is $200 because you have other income. Then the emergency maximum allotments means that your income doesn't count right now, while we're still in this pandemic, while they're still in the state of emergency, while they're still distributing these benefits. They're not allowed to hold that against you. So just for the food stamps, you would get the full amount on these dates that I provide, okay? So you would get that extra $100. Now, there were a lot of people that did not get those benefits because they were already receiving the maximum amount. Maybe they didn't have any extra income, but for whatever the reason, they were already receiving the maximum amount for their family size. So there was this lawsuit. They went back in and talked about it, and then they ended up increasing benefits to 15%. So everyone who wasn't getting benefits already before, because they were already receiving the maximum amount, now everybody has to get a minimum of $95 more every month. That's the minimum of $95 extra. Now, for some states, I do know that there's separate deposit for these. Other states, they're just kind of lumping it all together. So it depends on your individual circumstance, okay? Because some were getting back pay from the stamps that they didn't get when they started distributing these benefits. For everybody else, they were already getting them. It doesn't really matter. So it depends on your individual circumstance. I hope that was able to clarify that a little bit. I haven't had my morning coffee, you guys, and I'm also like walking on eggshells, so to speak, because I don't want my kids to come flying down the hallway, and I'm trying to keep my son from waking up. Someone asked about information about school uniform vouchers for California. I discussed that in the beginning. I'm going to do a couple more questions. What can you do if you haven't received your PEBT card? I'm in Texas. Need to know when they are going to start putting the benefits on my card. Got the old card, but they said I'm getting a new one. Okay, so for Texas, you would need to contact the distributing agency to see. I'll see if I can look it up for you and try to come back and put it in the comment section directly for you, because I'm not looking at that, and it probably would take me a minute to kind of research that information. But you will most likely see if there's a number on the back of the old card that you have. If it is, then you need to contact them and see. They should be able to tell you when your card was mailed out, if it's been mailed out, and the amount of funds that will be on there already. So you want to contact them. So just check and see if there's a number on the back of your card, and then like I said, I'll try to look it up later, and then I'll respond directly to your comment in the comment section. Okay. Yep, that's pretty much it. I think I've addressed pretty much all of the questions. Okay, there was one more thing. Since you guys are in the spirit for free food, there were some of you guys who were saying you actually made it to, I think one person said they made it to McDonald's. There were a couple people that said they made it to Subway to get their free sandwich, and that it was wonderful. Okay, so we've got some Krispy Kreme birthday donuts, some donuts, y'all. Now they're not free, but according to this article, you can get a dozen of the original glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme for $1. Okay, you guys know I have to put the cherry on top of all of this information, so I want to give y'all a little bit of sweets. Okay, it says Krispy Kreme is celebrating 84 years in business this July 16th, and it's marking the occasion with a deal for its loyal customers for that day only. Just July 16th, the purveyor of fried sugary dough will be serving up a $1 original glazed dozen when you buy any dozen donuts. Okay, so the catch is you got to buy a dozen of donuts. But if you work in an office setting, you know what I mean, that would be something I would do, definitely. You know, honestly, I would do it here in my apartment complex and probably give it away to all the kids, because there's about 50 kids in here running around, and whenever I'm making food, they come knocking at the door anyway trying to get it. So that's something I would definitely do for all of my neighborhood babies. But if you, I will take advantage of this. I don't know if you guys will. Let me know if you guys decide to do this. But anyways, you have to buy another dozen. Okay, you have to buy another dozen. It doesn't matter what type. It can be assorted. It could be the same thing. It could be a dozen of original glazed donuts. But once you purchase the original 1 dozen donuts of your type, then you can get another dozen for $1. Okay. It says all you have to do is buy any dozen donuts either online or in store on July 16th. When you do, you'll have the chance to throw down an additional $1 for an additional dozen original glazed donuts. Okay, so this is definitely, like I said, this is my cherry on top. It's a way that they're saying happy birthday to themselves as a company, celebrating 84 years. But yeah, head on over to Krispy Kreme, y'all, and get y'all some donuts. And let me know if you do. I would love to know if you guys actually did that. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I just might. There was something else I wanted to say to you guys, and now I don't remember. Hold up. I got a new notification. I got to read this in a minute. Okay. But on that note, you guys, I have been speaking you guys' ear off for 30 minutes. I do appreciate you guys for sticking with me. As always, I hope this information was in some way helpful or useful. You guys know I got to get out of here because I hear the little crickety cracks of my children's bunk bed moving, and I know that I'm going to start seeing little girls flying up and down my hallway, and I have to wake up my son. He is laying in the bed with his hands behind his head with no t-shirt on, like he just had a hard day out there pounding the pavement. Like, seriously, it's funny. And I got a fan in the bed on him, so he is in sleep galore right now. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. I love you guys. I absolutely love you guys. Remember to live, love, and elevate. Stay cool, because mama is hot over here. I am burning. You guys have no idea. I have started my weight loss journey. I'm sharing with you guys. Go ahead and follow me over there on social media. I don't know why I just said that and cut it off. But anyways, follow me on social media if you're not already. I'm at She Builds Healthy Wealth on both Facebook and on Instagram. But on TikTok, I am at live_love_elevate. Okay, and on that note, I'm going to say farewell. Peace. Peace, y'all.